Hey, what is up guys, and welcome back to the FCS Football channel. And today we are back with another match preview, this time for Manchester United versus Aston Villa in the Premier League. Now, unfortunately, we do not have a watch long for this game. I'm busy tomorrow, so we can't watch it. But on the plus side, it's not a game that's actually been broadcast online in England. So, given whatever the last game we did like that, was it Newcastle? I want to say Newcastle. We might not have been able to watch the game anyway, so it's not that big of a deal, fortunately. Still a bit disappointing, but we move. Now, of course, if you are, despite the fact we aren't doing a watch long, details of the game are on my side. So kickoff tomorrow is at 2 o'clock. At the same time, I believe we've got there is a game on Sky at 2 o'clock. What game that is, I'm not 100% sure on. Let me double check that for you, because it's some stupid game, really. It's Southampton Newcastle. There you go, Southampton Newcastle. Absolutely fantastic. What we like to see. Southampton Newcastle's on telly, but not Man United Aston Villa. Nice one, Sky. Nice one, English football. The fact that all the games just aren't broadcasted. But we're not going to get into that. So, yeah, kickoff tomorrow is at 2. Now, Manchester United do come into this game currently sat in 5th place. Obviously, that's the current Premier League table. Newcastle and Tottenham both sit above us. However, they have both played a game in hand. If United win tomorrow against Aston Villa, we will go into the top 4. Obviously, Newcastle, they also do play tomorrow. They play... I've just closed down the fixtures. They play... I've just been saying it. It's Southampton, isn't it? They play Southampton at the same time. So... obviously, if they win and we win, Newcastle do stay top, or above us, I should say. However, if they drop points and we win, we do go above them into the top 4. Finally, where we should be, really. So, let's hope for a Newcastle disaster or a Southampton masterclass, in a sense. That being said, obviously, Manchester United do come into this game in fairly good form. In our last Premier League game, we did beat West Ham 1-0 thanks to a Marcus Rashford goal in a game which we did pretty much dominate proceedings. We were the better team throughout. Well, maybe aside from the ending 20 minutes where West Ham did start to kind of gain some momentum and really did start peppering David De Gea's goal. However, we saw it out. We kind of got through the avalanche of chances for West Ham, and we did win the game 1-0 again thanks to that Marcus Rashford header. And there's reason to be happy because we're in really good form. Obviously, we did play Real Sociedad in our last game. Obviously, in the Europa League. I was going to say Champions League there. In the Europa League. It was an unfortunate result. Obviously, we won the game. We played fairly well. Not brilliantly. I think Real Sociedad were very good in that game and really helped to stop our momentum in the game. But do I think we were fantastic? Do I think we were kind of at our very, very best? No, I don't. And obviously, we went into that game needing to win the game. Not just win the game, but to win it by 2-0, or by a 2-goal margin to secure us top of our Europa League group, which didn't happen. So after the game, it kind of, while we did win, it kind of felt like a loss. And we're hoping in this game, well, in the game against Aston Villa tonight or tomorrow, we can kind of put that right and kind of win the game. Team news wise, for Aston Villa, Emiliano Martinez, obviously their goalkeeper, their number 1, he picked up a concussion injury against Brentford in their last game. Obviously a game in which they lost 4-0, was it? Was it Brentford they beat? No, it wasn't Brentford. It was Newcastle, sorry. Against Newcastle, Emiliano Martinez did pick up a concussion, so he could be out of this game. There's also rumours that Argentina manager, I can't think of his name, a lot of Argentinians as well as Brazilians, have been asked or are trying to miss out on these last 2 games of the Premier League season, or whatever league season they're in, to avoid getting injured pre-World Cup. And obviously we've seen a lot recently, players getting injured that will now miss the World Cup. Timo Werner in Leipzig and Germany, Ben Chilwell for Chelsea and England, just two of the many that looks to be missing out on the World Cup due to injuries, due to how kind of congested this season has been so far. Diego Carlos is also out. He's been out for a while with a calf injury. Boubacar Kamara and Ludwig Augustin both could be out. They are somewhat 50-50 whether they'll be available to start or not. So it'll be interesting to kind of see whether they're available or not, I suppose. Now, when it comes to Unai Emery, obviously this is his first game in charge of Aston Villa, and that makes Aston Villa a bit of an unknown. We don't kind of know what we're going to get in, what we're in for with this Aston Villa team. And because of that, picking a formation and kind of a way of that they'll play is difficult. We know they have a lot of good players. They could be a 4-3-3. It could be somewhat of a back 5. It could be a 4-4-2. It could be anything. I've gone with a 4-2-3-1 because I think that kind of suits the players they've got. Kamara can play in that too, alongside potentially a John McGinn or a Leander Dendoncker. And that front 3, you've got players like Leon Bailey, Ollie Watkins, obviously I believe is their key player. Coutinho, Buendia. Did I mention Bailey? I think I did. So there's a lot of quality there for Aston Villa in that to kind of put in that 3 behind the central striker, whether that is Ollie Watkins or that is a Danny Ings. Well, obviously we have to wait and find out. Now I've picked Ollie Watkins as the key player for Aston Villa because I think Ollie Watkins is a very, very good player. He presses really well. He works so hard. I think he's great in front of goal. We haven't seen that really this season, but I think Watkins is, you put him in front of goal, I do back him to score. And then you've got players, you can build around him, I feel, and that's why for me he is their key player. And I think if he's fit and if he's at his best, he can cause a lot of problems for this Manchester United team. Going into United's team news, United have got a couple of players who are doubts and some players that are certainly out. Bruno Fernandes and Rafael Varane, they are definitely out for this game. Bruno Fernandes has picked up too many yellow cards, so he misses out the game today, or tomorrow I should say, which probably means Donny van der Beek comes in, although we'll get to that in just a mo. And Rafael Varane, obviously we know he has that thigh injury. He's another player that is a doubt for the World Cup. He looks like he will just be available for France. However, it's very hit and miss. And then you've got Anthony Martial, Anthony, and Jadon Sancho, who are all kind of training with the first team, having missed out on the trip to Real Sociedad. And they are kind of touch and go again. And there's about a 50-50 chance either of those will be available today. So we could be fairly full strength, obviously Varane and Fernandes aside, or at the same time we could be fairly weak in that front line like we were against Sociedad. With this in mind, this is a team I think Erik ten Hag goes with. So same back four that played against Sociedad. I don't see a reason to change it. They were good enough. Same midfield too, in that double pivot as well. It's then the front line that I think will get some change. But it's fairly similar. I don't think Erik ten Hag's the type of manager that will risk an Anthony Martial or a Anthony or Jadon Sancho in this game, which then leads either players like Elanga, Pellistri to come in to the first 11. If not, Alejandro Garnacho, who I've actually started on the left-hand side. Who I believe Erik ten Hag will start on the left-hand side. I just think he played really well against Real Sociedad. And there's no reason not to play him. If you're not going to risk players that are injured, which I don't think is kind of what Erik ten Hag likes to do, I don't see why you don't start Garnacho, given how well he's played recently. And I don't particularly think Elanga's been brilliant. I don't think he's been terrible. I don't think he's been brilliant, though. And you're not going to play Pellistri, are you? Given that he's never played a game for Man United first team before. So Garnacho will take his place on the left. Marcus Rashford is moved out to the right. Obviously, he's better on the left. I prefer him on the left. However, I'm not quite sure with Garnacho how well Garnacho can play off the right, or if he can at all. Because of that, Rashford has and can play on the right. So he kind of is there by default. Donny van der Beek has to kind of play at number 10 for me. I wouldn't be totally opposed of, if we go over to this screen, we put Van der Beek in there. I wouldn't be totally opposed to dropping Van der Beek into the double pivot alongside Casemiro and putting Eriksen slightly further forward, or playing as a midfield three. I don't think that's completely out of the possibilities, but I do believe we'll kind of stick with a 4-2-3-1. Donny played as a 10 in Seville, against Sociedad in San Sebastian, and as such, I don't see why he wouldn't again against Aston Villa. When it comes to my team, again, it's pretty straightforward. It's mainly the same 11. However, I would risk Antony. Obviously, I'm not sure how fit all these players are. However, if Antony's is 80-90% okay, I would play him. Same goes for Sancho. Whichever one of those two are most fit, I would play. Anthony Martial, if he's 100% fit, I would start him over Cristiano Ronaldo. I don't think Ronaldo's been that good. He's been better than he was at the start of the season. Still don't think he's been that good, that amazing. So I would start Martial over Ronaldo if Ronaldo is fit and if Ronaldo is available. However, that's only if he's 100% certainly fit. If he's not worth the risk, because I think Martial is... He needs to be fully fit. We can't keep playing Martial getting in, and then he gets injured straight away because he's not fully fit. It can't keep happening. So for me, if he's not fully fit, don't play him. If he is fully fit, play Martial. And to be fair, look, we don't have many games left until the World Cup. Martial will be fighting tooth and nail to get back in this team. We've got 3 games before the World Cup. Martial's in training. He needs to be fighting to get into this starting 11, because although he might not play tomorrow, game on Thursday against Aston Villa in the Cup. He needs, if he's fit, he will play that game. He needs to be fit and he needs to play well in that game. Go to Sunday at 4:30 against Fulham. The last Premier League game of the first half of the season, in a sense. He needs to play in that and get into that France squad if he wants to go, and then go do bits at the World Cup. Because, I mean, France have missed a lot of players. So if they're going to do well, they need players like an Anthony Martial. But I don't think he is going to be fully fit. And if he's not, like I said, I wouldn't risk him. So that's why I've stuck Ronaldo in there. But like I say, if Martial was fully fit, start him over Ronaldo. If Jadon Sancho is more fit than Antony, then play Sancho. But yeah, I mean, look, we'll keep on this screen, given that we don't have a watch along. That league table says all you need to know. While that 17th place Aston Villa isn't Unai Emery's 17th place Villa, it is Aston Villa. We are 5th for a reason. We should be going out to win every game. And that doesn't change in this one. We have to beat Aston Villa. It's as simple as that. There's no two ways about it. Beat Aston Villa like we should and keep marching on into that Fulham game. Obviously, our next Premier League game. Win that. Leave ourselves in a great position going into the World Cup. Well, hopefully we don't get too many injuries. In a positive sense, hopefully we get a lot of players that get knocked out quite early. Not only from an England sense, where a lot of the good teams will be already knocked out, but also it means they don't risk getting injured. And if they do get injured, then they've got loads of time to recover. But look, like I said, we should win this game. Unai Emery's first game. So we're not going to see a proper Unai Emery team. This is going to be an Unai Emery team that's, well, an Aston Villa team that's had 4 days of Unai Emery. Chances are they've not trained today, so that's probably down to 3, maybe 2. I'm not sure how many days training they would have had. This isn't an Unai Emery team just yet, so they are there for the taking. And I think United can, and I think they will win this game ultimately. I'm going to go for a 2-0. 2-0 Manchester United win. How would you like that? 2-0 Manchester United win to round up the weekend. And hopefully put us into the top 4. But look, anyway, if you have enjoyed this match preview, please do hit that like button below and subscribe if you are new and you haven't already. That would be greatly appreciated. And please do let me know down below in the comment section below if you are watching this as a video or if you're in the live chat. Let me know in the live chat what your score prediction is for this game. One last time for those, if you didn't catch it before, unfortunately we have no watch along for this game. The game's not being broadcasted in the UK, so we can't do it, unfortunately. Anyway, like I said, thank you all for watching. If you have enjoyed, hit that like button below. Subscribe if you are new and you haven't already. And I'll see you all in the next one in a bit. Peace.